This is, in many cases, used as a primary supporting text for what would be considered a Calvinist view of salvation. What shall we say then? Is there injustice on God's part? By no means. If you don't take anything from this except one thing today, get this. There is no injustice on God's part. And he's been making this case. And by the way, this is true no matter what your view is on salvation, whether it's strictly predestination or you have a will that is a factor in there. Contrary to what some might believe, I would contend that this verse is not talking, nor anything in this chapter, frankly, about salvation of individuals. He's talking about God's treatment of the Jewish people. And what is at issue is the faithfulness of God. Has God been faithful? Now, here's where the context of this verse becomes really insightful. You notice it's in quotes, right? Paul is not making this statement for the first time. It's a quote from the first chapter of Malachi. And if we go back and say, okay, you know what would be a good idea? Let's look that up. What's the context of the statement in Malachi? And might it be related to this very issue I'm suggesting that this passage is emphasizing, which is God's faithfulness in his treatment and his keeping of his covenant with Israel?